Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Kingdom Dialogues. Thank you for joining us tonight, even as we continue to dialogue about the kingdom. And like we have said, our focus is how is the kingdom advancing in 2024. A new year is upon us. This year carries many things, many mysteries, many things that have been hidden that will only be unpacked as we go along. And we just want to engage with various guests to unpack what we feel is the heart and the mind of God and how we should prepare and how we should align ourselves. Today my guest is Enock Omamo, and he's here with us, and I just want to welcome you to the set. Can I give you a fist bump?
Yes. Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Yes.
Tell our audience a bit about yourself. Your name, I know I've said your name. Yes. Of course, you must remember your wife's name, otherwise you won't get any bonga points. And then just a bit about yourself.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Enock Omamo. I'm a businessman, and I'm also, I have a wife. My wife is called Margaret, and God has blessed us with one child. And I'm so glad to be here.
Okay.
I'm always here every Sunday online. Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for joining us on Sunday online. Yeah. All right. Enock, you've sent me a lot of, let me call them thoughts, for lack of a better word, you know, but words that you felt in your heart about God speaking about this year. And I want you to just share some of the things that you feel in your heart about 2024. What do you feel God is saying? What do you feel is on God's heart for the coming year?
Okay.
Or for this year, actually, not the coming year.
Yes. So I thank God. God has so much that I believe He wants to walk with us in. Yeah. And the interesting thing is sometimes we see what God has, and we're scared, and we think we're going to walk through it alone. But He always wants us to walk as a team. He wants us to collaborate with people. And there could be different kinds of people that He has invested in. He's worked with maybe through failures and successes, and others are starting to learn. And there's so much. One of the things I believe that God wants us to do is to build a community.
Yeah.
To build a very strong community. And first, the community starts with the family. And the family, it means the father, the mother, and the children, and having time with them. Yes, like, you know, it's common that lots of parents, when they get older and they've been building a business, they've been growing a business, one of the things they say is that my children are not interested in it. But the reason is sometimes they never built a relationship with the children. This was their own thing, and the children were drawn away. Yeah, but I believe God wants us to build a very strong family, and that family will be able to write in the family their values that family are known for. More so, the kingdom values like honesty, values like trust, first even trust among themselves. Yes, and there are many values that are godly that they can learn, and even the value of righteousness. Then we move on, even having another community, even the community of relatives, the community of the church. And I believe one of the areas we have failed is building a community in the church. We are members, but one thing is they are distance apart. Everybody is pulling on this side, everyone is pulling on the other side. And one thing is, I was thinking about this. There's this church where I was committed in when I was a young person. And today when I go there, I'm more like a stranger. It could be possible you are the pastor of this church. 10 years down the line, when you come over here,
you feel like a stranger.
That chair that you really loved, you can't lean on it.
Yeah.
Because someone else will tell you, that's the pastor's chair. Nobody's allowed around it. They completely don't know you. The reason is community. When you stepped out, you actually retired. When you retire, I've seen this. Most of the people, when they commit themselves even to a church, and when they retire and they're supposed to leave Nairobi or their city, that's the way they are going.
The relationship, yeah.
Despite the investment they had put in. So the reason is that community thing was missing.
Yeah.
Other new people come in, and when they come, they are complete strangers. Yes, their name is gone. So God will love us to have a community. And this kind of community can be able to help us in the future. I was sharing with you before that at this time I'm going through some classes, especially with some Indians. And what we are studying are feasibility studies of different companies that have succeeded in India and around the world. But most of they've been companies that have been built by Indians. And there's one community that has really fascinated me, and that's the Jain community. Now, something interesting about the Jain community, in the 1950s, just after the Holocaust, the Jews were the ones who were controlling the diamond industry. And they were very powerful. And they were also secluded. They were hurting because of what had happened. And they built a very tight community among themselves. They will be able to lend one to another. There was trust, there was honesty. And they modeled it. And they had an arbitration team that would be able to come in and help disgruntlement, cases of maybe misunderstandings. And they'll be ironed quite well. Now, they were not allowing people into their business. They were not allowing people into the secrets of their business. But this is what happened with the Jain community. The Jain community were very good at cutting diamond. The Jewish, like a very big percentage of, like about 50% of them who are in diamond business were swept away through the Holocaust. Now, there remained a community that did not know how to cut. Mm-hmm. Now they needed the support of another community that was also nearly like them. And that's why the Jain found their way into the hearts of the Jews. Yeah. And they welcomed them in to be like their cutters. And they are those ones who will be trusted with diamonds all the way from Antwerp, because these Jewish were set up in Antwerp where they were doing the diamond business. And today you see Antwerp is like the capital of diamond. Mm. But it's changed a little. It's no longer the capital of diamond. Now, what happens is this. These Jewish guys, they trusted the Jain because the Jain were secretive. The Jain were a close, tight community, and they had skills. So a few of them who are already well versed with cutting diamond started also asking the Jews were interested only in the big diamonds, the big carats. They were not interested in the small ones. Now the small ones, they refer to them as dust. Now these dust were of no value to them. So they will, the Jain community had advanced as a community in their technology for cutting diamonds. So they were interested in the dust diamond. So a few of them asked the Jewish people to give them the dust diamonds. So they will buy from them, go and exercise with it. So they'll carry it all the way to India, and they'll exercise with it. And with time, they perfected. And something happened also that among some traders in the Jain, they started something. They will co-share information among the community. So it was not like now these are competitors, they cannot share ideas. They will share new ideas that will come up with. And it's interesting that they will pull into their community even the lowly people, even the drivers, the uneducated people, and they will bring them in and teach them the new skills. And they started perfecting. So there are some business people amongst them who came up with the practice, payment on performance. So they measured your performance. So it called for a rise in innovation. Now, these people started coming up, bringing out their very best. Now, God has wired us in different ways. I've shared with you about my coach, Brett Johnson. He shares about lemon. So lemon, L are for the luminaries, those guys who they'll feel locked out if you shut them from coming up with new ideas. And then A, the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are the people who come up with opportunities. They look at where is the next market? Sometimes pastors are entrepreneurs. Well, in Kenya, sometimes we think, oh, Indians, Kikuyus, Kikisis are entrepreneurs. Not all of them are entrepreneurs. God has wired us differently. So they are the entrepreneurs. And then the others are managers. Those people who set up the systems. And I was just thinking, most of the time, even like the controversies we are hearing right now about the church, most of it is coming up because systems are not there. Now, the managers are the ones who put in the controls. Those people we really hate to be around because they want to regulate how we do things. But we really need them because they hold us accountable. They show us this is how you're supposed to operate. You're not supposed to go this way. And it really works because they set for us the systems. Even in business, they set for us the systems. And then, the organizers. They're like more like the PR guys. You come up with a product, you don't know, you want to launch it in Kenya, and you don't understand the culture about these Kenyan people. You want to understand their culture. So when you bring a product to them, you can bring it to them in their language. And I think that's why products from South Africa, lots of brands from South Africa come to Kenya, and they cannot make it here because they assume that we are like them. They bring it to us in their language. So they realize we are really trying in, they put in a lot of money, and they burnt, and they go back. Now, the last one are the networkers. So the networkers are the people's people. They are the ones who are very good at selling to you. Everything has been done for them. So they come in and they roll it out to you. They sell it to you. Now, the issue is this. They leverage also on such kind of things. There are those ones among the Jain who are very good at coming up with ideas. So they invested a lot in them. They gave them the very best. And some of these Jain people were not schooled, but they were given the platform to bring out the best. And they came out with amazing, cutting ideas. Now, what happened is this. The Jewish in Antwerp were surprised with what these people are coming up with. Even what they were discarding now found its value. And all of a sudden, the business now started changing from Antwerp to India, where the Jain were. I've forgotten the name of the city. But it developed to be a very big city. Now, 90% of diamond business right now in the world is done from this city. It's the Jain who handles 90% of the diamond business. It's employed 800,000 people. That's a change in an economy. Now, we're studying why were they able to do that. And they were able to do that because, first of all, there is an emphasis on family. Now, among the Jain, the rate of divorce is very low because there's an arbitration that has been taught to them. They are taught to pursue peace. They are taught to pursue reconciliation. So their values, they are taught right in their family. They see it modeled out. And the next thing, they are taught about honesty. They are taught about trust. So there's trust amongst them. They are told, you see that family, we do business with them because our great-great-grandfather did business with them. It is documented. It's in history. So they inherit a history of how business transactions has been taking place. And so they know that these ones, we trust them because of this. So children start learning trust. And the other thing is honesty. Honesty is modeled to them. They are taught about it. They listen to stories about honesty. It's brought closer to them now when they go now to their religious community. So they grow in this community and it's so strong. I was sharing with you that it's a surprise that in Kenya, we delegate parenthood. I was a Sunday school teacher. You ask lots of questions. Help me with this child. Some things that a parent can do with the child at home. And the reason is, it's because the parent is so busy, has no time for the child. Now, for the Jain, the child is supposed to be brought at home. There's a lot of emphasis in parenting. And what happens is this. You see, like even in Kenya, we send our children out very fast, but the Indians, they don't. They will live together. The father is there, the grandfather is there, the great-grandmother is there. So they all bring up this family together. So I was sharing with you about this friend of mine who is in gold business. And he is the last born. he is the one who takes care of his nephews, nieces. He's the one who brings them back from school, and he still goes back to work. And when he picks them and takes them to, maybe today on Monday, he's taking them to this other uncle who is doing this particular trade. On Tuesday, they pass through another place. And like when now it comes to gold business, which is their family main business, gold is never hidden in the vault and kept away from the children. They start getting acquainted with it. Yeah. They start getting to know what it is. It's not a strange myth. Yes, it's not like, don't touch this thing. They get to interact with it. And they're not hiding their failures. When the uncles and aunties and the brothers, they all come back home, they talk about their challenge in business, how it was, how their day was. Now the children start knowing about the vulnerability of their parents. They also start getting to know that we should be vulnerable in this community. Let's share about our failure, our pain. And through that, it's possible now even to learn about respect. Their business acumenship is sharpened in the family. Their religious community, their business acumen is sharpened also there. Now, interestingly, someone also was sharing in the class about this other person, about their family. They went through a very difficult period in their family. And what happened is this. That community came out for them. They wanted to borrow money, but their priest told them, "No, we're giving you money. Your great grandparents have invested in us. We're giving you these so that you can be able to go out and build again your business." So they walk with you. They walk with you through the seasons. You will not find them outside here as beggars. Because they have a community. Someone was sharing with me about the Jewish, like when two of them come to Nairobi, what they'll do is they always set aside some money for any other Jew who will come.
Wow.
And when they get over here, and let's say they're even 5, getting a business from the president is not hard. If they need an appointment from the president, it's not hard because they have the resources. You see, I'm sorry about to say this. It's said by Kenyans. Right now, pastors are going to ask for money from some places, high places. But what are these people doing? They take money to high places. Why? Because they are leveraging on the power of the community. Now, I pray that is what we can have. We can leverage, we can build that. First, we start by building that community in our own families. Then second, we move on to build that community together, even in our fellowship. Yeah. Because now, when I come, I'm building my son. I'm raising up in this healthy, safe community, and you are doing the same, and maybe we're talking about business. It's so possible for us to be able to leverage on the strength of each other. Yeah. Because the emphasis mostly is this: go and study. We're building careers. We're raising these people to be career oriented. We send them to boarding schools. We're separating them from us, even at an age where you really need them. They really need you. So you're sending them, and one of the big lies is we are sending them to boarding school to go and learn independence. There's no independence a child learns in boarding school. Instead, it's a defense mechanism that they put. It's like a shield that the child puts in. So you might see some aggressiveness coming out, and you feel, oh, that's some independence my child has learned. No, it is a defense mechanism. So this child grows with this defense mechanism, and you retire at home. When you retire, what happens? You long to be with them. You long to hold your grandchildren, but they are not there. Yes. So because the shield continues to be there. Yeah. But I believe that God wants us to invest in our families, whichever way that we think, whichever way it's right, to be with them. Be able to model it out, because for them, they model it out, they pour out themselves right from the grandparent, the uncles, the father, and the rest of the community. They value these people they are raising up. They know this is the generation that will take forth
what we have.
What we have.
Yes, yes.
And sometimes what they have is the businesses, the ideas. And I think another big challenge that we also have is this. You know, God wants us to build kingdom enterprises. But look at Proverbs chapter 6. It talks about the lazy man. That you lazy man, go look out to the land, to the ant, and learn from the ant. And you know, it's so easy for us to say, who is the lazy man? The lazy man is this guy who goes out and, maybe sits aside and does not work.
Anything, yeah.
But that's not really the description of the lazy man. The other scripture about the people who are given talent. There's a man who was sent, he was told, you buried your talent.
Yeah.
And it's so easy for us to say, oh, as we are working really hard, we are very productive, we give tithe. But even the guy who buried his talent, he was working very hard. The issue is this: according to God, who is the person who buried his talent? I believe the person who buried his talent is the person who picks up anything and runs with it. It could be a very lucrative thing, very productive thing, and makes a lot of profit from it. But at the end of the race, you are dismissed, you're told, yeah, you went into the medical field, or you went into this other field, and you've made it. You have made it, but God never yielded his glory from it. So the issue is this: when I'm looking for my purpose, when I'm looking for an idea to invest in, I need to spend my time with God and let God put it in my heart. What exactly can I invest in? And I believe that even some of these people, though they are not born again, though they may not have a relationship with Christ, but they spend time in quietness, seeking
to understand themselves.
And to know what is it that I am wired to do. Because everyone has something they are wired to do. And we can ask ourselves this question: what are God's pain points? What is it that is paining God? Because Jesus says, I do that which I see the Father do. But for us, what do? I go look for funds, I rush to China, I bring the easiest thing to the market. Our default mechanism is the lazy, the lazy man perspective. We always think of what is the easiest thing I can do to make a living. And, Kenyans are seen to be very productive. Look, there are lots of people putting apartments. When men sit down, they ask, what do you have? What pieces of land do you have? Tell us. And people talk about all the pieces of land, all over, spread across the land, the nation. But the issue is this: most of it is they acquire them from the poverty mindset.
Yeah.
We want to have something because that's what our parents teach us. Get land, get land. What do you have? Get land, start building. So you start running this race, you start working for this property, and at the end, well, it's a property, it's good. But you can say it's even appreciating in value, but at the expense of what? God has invested in us so much. There's so much ideas, and there are lots of problems he wants us to solve, only if we spend time with him and get to know. A while back, I just on the issue of properties, I remember this friend I had, he was laid from work, and his colleague, whom he was also laid, they were all laid from work with, told him, you people from Central Kenya, you are the most, people say you are the most hardworking, but I want us to meet and learn from each other. Yeah. He was from the Jain community. He told me, I want us to meet and learn from each other, and so that I can grow, and even you can grow. So he told him, so they met after the first 6 months. All of them were given 300,000 shillings. Then it was a lot of money. So he asked him, what have you used the money for? He told him, I went and bought a piece of land outside Nairobi, and I'm feeling good. He was proud. He'd been spending time just thinking about the land, always cross-checking if the title deed was there. Yeah. But the thing is this, his friend told him, I went to CBD, found this space, put up a restaurant. They met again after 6 months. He asked him, what did you do? He told him, I've really struggled, been really hard. I've been working very hard, and now even I don't have time for my children, and my wife has had to look for another job, and she's washing clothes for people, and we really don't have time. We are trying really to see how I can put up an apartment on this building, on this land.
Yeah.
And so he was able to build it up to the floor slab area level. And the Indian guy told him, I've been able to pay the goodwill, and I feel good. They met after this, the second, the other 6 months, that's now the third time, that's the 18th month. And he asked him, what have you done? And he was exhausted. He told him first about the challenges he's been going through, working through the night, working through the day, and he's been able to build the house up to the lintel level. And the Asian man told him, look, I'm happy because now I've improved the hotel. And it's paying me a salary, it's paying my wife a salary, and I'm taking care of my children. Well, I've taken them to a British curriculum school, and which belongs to one of his community members. Now, my friend met him again after the 6th month. He was so exhausted. I told him, I can't continue with this building. I've just been, I want to leave it at this level. I've finished it. And I want my wife and children to come in or move in, or we'll let it out. Yeah. Then his friend told him, I'm really sorry about your turmoil, but probably you could learn a little from me. And this is what I've been able to do. I've acquired that property. I don't have the rent you're paying in the slum. I don't pay the rent. I'm living in my grandfather's property. My grandfather, when they came to Nairobi, they acquired that property. My father worked with his brothers to build it. And have not been paying rent. And we only have 2 cars. And these are they are vans, old vans. And we maintain these vans, and we ensure that these vans are able to serve us quite well. The resources we have, we use them optimally. And we ensure there's efficiency. Now, my friend left, went to Middle East to look for work.
Wow.
Now, who is in real estate? Who invests in real estate? So that's the mindset that we need to break. We need to break out from it's poverty mindset. We need to break out from it. Just a while back, there's a friend who engages in power production. So he invited me to his apartment in Westlands, and he told me, look here, these Asians, they come over here, they group together, and they leverage on the power of the community to put up these kind of apartments. You go out as a single person, leveraging from the strength of borrowing from the bank, and you put up, you buy a land in Eastlands, struggle for so many years to build that apartment. And the return on the investment on that apartment is maybe after 20 years. You'll say, it will appreciate in value, but at the expense of what? So the Asian guy comes over here, and after so many years, I'm paying a rent. 3-bedroomed house, I'm paying 350,000 shillings. And the return on investment, sometimes like after 6 years. And when they are coming to Eastlands to invest, they invest in factories. They invest in warehouses. They are looking at production areas. And I think our best of bests who are putting up apartments and buying properties all over are losing an opportunity to invest in production. Yes. And what's driving them? What's driving us into that area? First of all, the community. We are in the wrong community. We need to build another new community. We need to change our mindset in the new communities. We need to change our mindset and let people know that we can think outside the box. God is interested in people who come up with new ideas. And there are blue ocean ideas. There are ideas that are wild outside there. And look at it. Being members of the church, what can happen? You know, we will appreciate. We'll give testimonies of the new things we are doing, the new copy-pasted ideas we are doing. I went to Dubai, I started this, I'm bringing this equipment, I'm bringing this. Our market is flooded with like about 95% of our consumption, and the things that are around us are imports. very little exports, very little locally made items. And imagine with the ingeniousness and industriousness that Kenyans have, what can we be able to do? I believe we can do amazing things. We can change our economies. And I think we are the burden to the community because we have an opportunity. First, we have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Then, what does the Holy Spirit in us do? Probably, we can engage the Holy Spirit to give us ideas. It's written, we shall have visions, we shall have dreams. Yes, our young ones will have visions, the old ones will dream dreams. I mean, what's the purpose of dream if the dreams are only to tell you, oh, we're going to have a crusade, this number of people are going to give their life to Christ. But I believe God is interested in working with us, even in the supernatural, in our businesses, so that our businesses can be a testimony of what God is able to do. And God can be able to meet people's pain points. So the easiest thing for us is to go to our default mechanism. The easiest thing. Let me copy what somebody else is doing. And now I end up being the lazy guy. I am not investing for the future. Because some of these apartments, maybe they'll be there and other new apartments will come up. And in 20 years' time, this apartment that's so posh, people will not like it. And the cost of renovating it to meet the standards then might really be high. So if we work with God, we will see new ideas, we will see new opportunities. And another thing also is this. When we have, like now, we can ask ourselves this question. This business that I'm doing, how is God maximizing his value? Personally, I am a capital raiser. I help companies raise capital from investors. And the idea, there was a time we were given an assignment by Brett. And he gave us an assignment and told us, go out and dream with God. Come up with a new idea. And when I went out, I realized in my journey, the struggles I've had as an entrepreneur, raising funds. And I looked around, I saw I was surrounded by a group of investors. Right there, I had a group of born-again investors, I had a group of Muslim investors, I had a group of investors surrounding me. I saw an opportunity. I felt God tell me, this is an opportunity. So one thing is this, God always wants to address a need. And it's so easy for us to say, I hear it commonly among believers, that the greatest job, the greatest thing you can ever say you've done for God is serving in church or serving in ministry. But I believe that even in the business world, you are serving God. You can be a tailor, but you are serving a people that probably even your pastor and members of your church do not have an opportunity to meet. So you have an opportunity to present to them the best clothes, quality. And I was looking at this company. The owners of that company were being discussed in our previous class with Brett. And that company has set itself specifically to serve the mechanical industry, to serve those people who love high precision. Because believers are known as people who compromises in their work. So they set themselves apart as people whose work stands out, quality. If you want quality, this company is known for quality. And then they've invested in this company to train the management level employees to know how to prophesy, to speak positively the market. So they go to this market that they love, that they speak positively to. They encounter competitors that they love, that they speak positively to. And so the company is not afraid of these people being poached. In fact, they are preparing them to get poached. Yes. So they are not hoarders. Another company that really stood out for me is an auditing firm. This man, when he was asking God, where can I serve you? How do you want my business to serve you? And God told him, this is how I want my business, your business to serve me. Raise disciples. And so he sacrifices part of his profit just to hire more staff. And he can file nil returns because he spent a lot on hiring staff. And in turn, how does God maximize his glory through his business? Through the people he has discipled. So he raises up disciples in his business, and in turn, those disciples also, they are able to disciple the rest of the employees who are coming in. And if they end up setting up their businesses, he gives them support. He gives them all the necessary support. What happens? This man has raised a community of auditors. Yeah, I remember, again also on this other note, God is interested in every processes in our business. I see it, it's so common. A believer is given out to tithing. He's given out to showing up in church, supporting, assisting in ministry. But in character level, there's a lot of compromisation. This guy can cut you out in deals. This guy can take away your land. And because of that greediness, it becomes really hard. But then what happens is this. This believer believes that he brings glory to God by coming to church or in his personal time just lifting hands and worshiping God, maybe going out witness, but they have points of compromisation. In their business, they might be mistreating their workers. So in your business, how is God maximizing his glory? Can God find opportunity to maximize his glory through the way you are treating your staff, through the way you are publicizing or speaking about your competitors? Can God find his glory through the way you are supporting them? Can God find its glory through the way you are giving back to the community? Because most of us, we feel like, let me bring my tithe to church. And when I bring my tithe to church, probably I get some upload. I see, nowadays envelopes are looking really good. Man, keep it up. We'll come and pray for you. But the thing is this business is not meeting God's heart. It's far away from God's heart. And probably also the business could be having an impact through, not probably, but the business should have an impact through the product it offers. Like in the first company we looked at, quality. They offer high precision machines, quality. They want to be known. They want to disciple the market. They want to bring Christ into the market. They want Christ to be glorified. And so they've not given them their business a Christian name.
So ladies and gentlemen, that winds up part one of this session, this discussion with Enoch about 2024. Join us again next week for the second part of this discussion.